because it started happening with my close friends and family. Like, let's say a couple years ago, when the whole, C word thing happened, we had to stay at home. I noticed the people that I was living with were literally turning into what I would call like demonic energies, like these negative, angry, like attacking energies. And then when other people come around it and it wasn't just me and them, they switch. And then I would ask them about it and they would have no memory. And I thought people were lying to me.
Hey, Justin, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good vibes, positive energy today. So, can you explain to us what is it that you do and what services you provide and all of that stuff?
Yes, of course. So I am a psychic medium. I refer to myself as a galactic shaman because the different spirits, energies, and the dimensions that I go through have to do with the higher dimensions rather than like the usual shamanistic earth realm things. And I also do different readings, so like tarot readings, past life readings. I go to what's called the Akashic Records, which is a record of all information of everything that's happened in the past. And I also work with angelic soul contracts. So many times, like throughout our lives, we have things that keep popping up, patterns that we're trying to get rid of, different energies that keep popping up. Usually we have a soul contract, which is before we're babies, we're a soul or spirit. We all know this, like you pop into a body. So before that, we're these all-knowing spirits, which is, you come from these higher dimensions where that's how it is, like, which is very, very high frequency. So when we are in that form, we decide what's going to happen on Earth. So that's what a soul contract is. So when it comes to soulmates, twin flames, jobs, all of that, it's like we pre-plan. And then because we have free will, we get to decide if we do it or not. So I offer just any help, advice, readings within the spiritual realm. So I'm just here to help.
That's awesome. So, you guys, you hear that? Make sure you book some sessions if you're looking for some answers. I actually did myself, and I got a lot of answers. I discovered some things, but we'll talk about that later because this is definitely not about me. Uh, so, going back, growing up, how are your parents or whatever? Like, were they religious? What was going on with them? How were you raised?
I grew up extremely religious, we can say. Like my family was practicing Catholic. I was in church every Sunday, essentially. I went to Catholic school 7th and 8th grade, so I was in church 3 to 4 times a week. And it's one of those things where I've actually been told recently by my angels that I was put in that position and I chose to be in that position so that I could be kept somewhat safe and secret, so that in today's time, I can actually awaken my abilities and be here to help and not have had anything, happen or get lost along my way. So so family grew up very religious, but when it comes to me awakening my abilities and me really stepping into what and who I am, they kind of weren't into it. But I didn't really blame them because many humans on Earth are not awake to what's going on. And when it comes to things that can be new and scary to people, when it comes to the realm of people's perceived reality being not really what's going on, it's kind of a lot for people sometimes. So as I'm awakening to my truth and the truth of what's going on, my family was kind of like, we're not ready to wake up. So I was like, okay. so I've just kind of been doing my own thing while I'm essentially healing myself and waiting for them to come around. So, like everybody comes around in their own time. So when it comes to this kind of thing, it's good for us to view it from, we are going through our own personal awakening. Everybody has their own time when they're supposed to go through it. So try not to have hard feelings. Even though it's hard not to have hard feelings, it's best to try not to, because, remember when you weren't going through your awakening, just whoever it is that we're talking to right now, it's like we all come into it when we're supposed to. And we have people that are ahead of us and the people that are behind us. And then that's how we judge where we are in our awakening. So, yeah.
Right. Makes good sense. So, are you guys still close? Do you just avoid the whole belief system thing altogether? Or how does that dynamic work?
Okay, so when I was going through my awakening, it was just very intense. And I was literally being guided by like these angels and different spirits and ancestors. So last year of 2022 was probably my most intense when it comes to my family and friends, because I started to understand that the majority of them, they didn't really have my back and support me because they didn't understand what I was even doing. And also sometimes,
Okay.
they're just like, I'm just not into this. So I actually kind of cut off my entire family and all my old friends because I needed to be myself, honestly, without any outside stimulus so that I could fully connect with the spirit realm, find out what's going on, connect with my higher self, get these instructions of like why I'm here, what I'm doing, when I'm supposed to meet, and all of that. And it's kind of hard to do that when you have family that's like, is this even real? Like that kind of stuff. It's like, like not having to explain yourself and things like that. Like it was hard, but I had to take the plunge, and I didn't cut them off like, F you guys, cutting you off. It was like, no, there was some things that happened in the past, some trauma that I need to heal, that I need to understand, that I need to go through. And I can't be around you guys while I'm going through it because you guys were there, So it's just this thing where I'm kind of like by myself, but it's a self-imposed hermit mode so that I could train, heal, upgrade, and then have the skill set that I have now so that now I can come out. And then if my family actually wants to get healings, I can do it. And I know what I'm doing now, when before I was practicing and training, and when people are practicing and training, it's hard to be like, this is 100% real. And people are like, yeah. People are like, you don't even know if it's real. And it's like, I know, but I'm trying, so it's been a journey, but yeah, like I plan on connecting with them eventually, of course, but just for right now, got to do my own thing. Like, in stories we hear that the young kid, when they came of age, they go to make their fortune. It's kind of like what I'm doing now. I had to leave the home base to literally travel the world and, like find why I'm here. And I did. So love it. I'm here for it.
Makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So my next question would be, when did you really realize that you were different? Like, what things started to pop up? Like, I don't know about this whole system that I'm being raised in. It's more to this.
Okay. So I would say that I started realizing that I was noticing things that other people don't notice back when I was in college. Because what would happen is, you have like a lot of friends that you meet, and just, fellow classmates, just random people that you're hanging out with at the library. And I would notice that when I would be having conversations with people, there would be groups, right? Everything would be normal. But then when it would be me and one specific person, like in different groups, different friend groups, different family groups, it's like they would change into a different person and like look at me all like mean and stuff and be, saying weird stuff like, oh, so you just think you're so cool, huh? And I'm like, what? That's a weird, what? Like, I don't understand what I've done to cause you to say that. Like you just want to hurt my feelings. And then, so I wouldn't say that, I would just think it. But so let's say my response was, what do you mean? Then they would keep going into it. And then if the people that were in the original group came back, the person would just flip, be like, oh, hey, everybody. And I would be looking at them like, what was that? Why do people flip into another personality when it's just me and them? And it's to a negative. It isn't like they switch and they're like, Justin, I just want to let you know, you're so awesome. I'm like, well, thanks, you're awesome too. It was like more of these negative situations with random people. And so fast forward like years, I'm starting to understand, because it started happening with my close friends and family. Like let's say a couple years ago, when the whole, C word thing happened, we had to stay at home. I noticed the people that I was living with were literally turning into what I would call like demonic energies, like these negative, angry, like attacking energies. And then when other people come around it and it wasn't just me and them, they switch. And then I would ask them about it and they would have no memory. And I thought people were lying to me. And I was just going around this world thinking like, everybody's a liar. Why are they all liars? No, they're being taken over by another energy that's not them. because there's a lot more going on than what we're taught in school. Like, oh, just get a job, have a family. There's an entire spiritual realm with all the way up to, essentially up to 12 dimensions, right? We're only taught this one, which is the third. Is one. So people focus on this, but there's so many other moving parts and spirits and energies and intentions that affect us here, that once we understand the moving parts, then you can start to live the life you want to live instead of having life kind of happen to you. You know, people are like, life is happening to me. That's because you don't really understand how to control your own life. It's like, we didn't come here to not know what's going on and not have a control and have other people control what's going on for us. That's not why we're here. Like, we're here to experience, enjoy, and then leave and go do other things in the cosmos, you know? So yeah, I feel like I kind of went on a tangent with that one, but.
No, that was perfect. You know, as you were talking, it made me think of the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington.
Yes. Yeah. So
Like,
it's like a
what?
yeah, like, because I had seen that movie earlier this year and I was like, this is the best visual description I have of what I go through. Because then I would ask people, like, does that happen to you? And people are like, what are you talking about? You crazy. And I'm like, nah, this has been happening for years. Like, I know that this is what's going on.